Hello everyone, so back again with me. So in this video I will show you how to solve a problem of SQL in leetcode.com. So I have a question or I have a problem from Leetcode. The name is average selling price number 1251, and the type of question is easy. These problems, if we look at the type of the question, is about basic aggregate function. Okay, before we start write the query, we have to look at the question or the informations. So what we have here is we have two tables. The first one is the price, and the second one is unit sold. And each table there are some column. In price table there are 4 columns with product ID, and the type of product ID is integer. Start date, and the type of start date is date time. End date, the type of end date column is date, and price, and the type is integer. And if we look at this information, we got some info. So product ID, start date, and end date is the primary key or combination of columns with unique value for this table. Each row of this table indicates the price of the product ID in the period from start date to end date. And the last information is, for each product ID there will be no two overlapping periods. That means there will be no two intersecting periods for the same product ID. And in the table of units sold there are 3 columns, which is product ID, purchase date, and units. And if we take a look to the product ID column, we have a similarity with between units sold and the prices. And what we have to do here is we have to join this table, which is price, to units sold, and we can make it, or we can join them with the primary key, which is product ID. And from the unit sold table, we can take a look to the information from the table is this table, which is units sold, may contain duplicate rows, and each row of this table indicates the date, units, and product ID of each product sold. Okay, next one we look to the questions. So the question is, write a solution to find the average selling price for each product. Average price should be round to 2 decimal places, and then return the result table in any order. Okay, after we read the information from this part or from this information and try to understand the questions, we can start to write our query. Okay, before we start to write the query, we have to look the complete view of the tables from price table and unit sold. So there are product ID, start ID, and date and price. And the unit sold table, there are product ID, the purchase date, and the units of the product that was sold. Okay, first one is write a solution to find the average selling price for each product. Okay, if we look at this output, the output, we have to show, or we have to display, the output is product ID and average price. Okay, product ID and the average price. Before we get into the average price, we have to join first. We have to join the price table to an unit sold table. Price join unit sold. I see you on. The primary key is product ID, so we use the product ID as a primary key to join the price table and unit sold table. Okay, before this we may take a look the whole column from these two tables. Okay, if we run, wait, table test price doesn't exist. Test prices. Oh, okay. Units sold. Unit sold. Okay. Okay, we got the complete view of the tables between prices and units sold. So there are product ID, start date, and date, price, product ID, and purchase date, and then units. So the question is, write a solution to find the average selling price for each product. So we have to find the average selling price for each product. How we can get the average selling price? So we can take a look into this explanation. So average selling price is total price of product divided by number of products sold. Okay, so we can write this with product ID, and then the average price is total price of product 100 multiplied by 5. 100 multiplied by 5. So we have sum the price and the units. Price, units, and then divided by the number of products sold, which is, if we take a look at this example from of the explanations, 115. So 115 for product 1. 115. Oh, 115, the sum of the unit from the product one. So we have to divide it, the total price of product with the number of products sold. Sum of units as average price. Okay, we have to add the group by. Why we have to group by? Because we use the aggregations sum. Group by product ID. Okay, let's try. Product ID in the field list is ambiguous. Okay, we have to be specific. Let's try again. Okay, still wrong answer, so we haven't get the perfect answer. But if we take a look into our output, there are still a difference between our output and then the uh, and then the from our output and expected output. The average price of product 1 is 12.5. The expected output is the product ID 1. The average price is 6.96. So it's still not the perfect answer. But if we take a look to this information, each row of this table indicates the price of the product ID in the period from start date to end date. For each product ID, there will be no two overlapping periods. That means there will be no two intersecting periods for the same product. So, from this information, what can we get from this information is we have to retrieve the data from the product sold that running from start date to the end date of the purchase date. So if I may not mistake, we have to add this the purchase date is between start date and end date. So from what we have right here is we can conclude or we can understand that the product that have been sold is sold between start date and end date in the purchase date. So if we take a look at this, the unit sold table, the purchase date is from product 1 is in 25, and then the 1st of March, and then the price of the product from product 1 is the start date of the product one is from 17 of February until 22 of March. So there are two purchase date from product one, which is 25, and uh, the first. So between start date and end date, there are two purchase date. So we have to include the purchase date between start date until end date. So okay, we can take a look. Wait, unknown column start date. Okay, start date. Mhm. Oh, yeah, we haven't round the average price. So the last order we have to do is we have to round the result to two decimal places. So we have to round this into uh, two decimal places. Okay, accepted. If we submit, wait. Okay, we have to look what is the wrong part of this query. So this is, so our output is like this, and then the expected output is like this. So there is a tree, the product ID, which is 3, that have average price is 0. So what if we add this? Still wrong. So null and 0. Also we have to change the null into 0. So if null, it will be 0. If we submit, okay, accepted. Okay, so that's it maybe from me. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry if there is still any mistake from me, but thank you if you want to watch this video, because I'm still a learner too. Anyway, thank you.